Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to check fresh release from Eduard. So this is a kit which is molded in 1/72 scale and it copies MiG-21PFM, and it's also a weekend edition kit, so we get only two marking options which are here on the box art. We do not get any PE or mask sets, and that's actually what makes it cheaper and more accessible for some modelers who don't want to spend extra money for some additions which they don't want to use, or maybe they're not using it because they prefer to work with pure plastic, let's say. So this is a commercial sample, and it means you will get exactly the same stuff as you order it straight away, and we are going to open it together and check what is actually supplied in this kit. So first of all, as I said, box art actually hints which markings you can expect in this kit. And box size is also typical for this manufacturer. Here you can see comparison with my hand, and on the side you can see some information about this manufacturer and company, and here you can see again profiles and paint numbers which will be needed for this build. And meanwhile, let me remind you that we are collecting money for the new PC, and if you appreciate what we are doing, please help us with small donation, because we have a special support button on our website, so even small donations are really valuable, and for each donation higher than $30 we will be sending special gifts, so you will get it as soon as you will make a small donation higher than $30, and it will be helpful so that we will be able to get back online with live streams and other stuff. So here is what we have inside. As you can see, sprues are separated into several plastic bags. Obviously we will start from the top one, and then gradually we will move on to other components. Clear sprue is packed into a Ziploc bag. I'm going to remove it right now. Okay, so here it is. It looks really cool for 1/72 scale kit. We zoom in a bit. Now you should be able to see it, because all parts look almost like a real glass, and as you can see with these parts you should be able to copy the open canopy on your aircraft as well. And masks are not included here, so in case you would like to get masks, you will have to get one of these kits or sets, let's say. As you can see, that's a special separate mask set. We will review it in a separate video, so stay tuned. It will be published on the same day. And as for these parts, I don't see any possible issues except of masks, so I would rather recommend to get them as a separate set, and this way you will avoid spending extra time trying to cut all these tiny stickers. Now I'm opening the second plastic bag, which is actually dedicated to gray plastic sprues. Just give me a second. Okay, so first one carries various elements for internal and external detailing. Let's zoom out a bit. Okay, so here you can see it. And here we have landing gear wheels, for example. Also you can see this quite famous one-piece nose cone which can be inserted after finishing whole assembly. That's a really cool feature because it helps you to paint this part in a separate paint shade and then just to get it on your model. Here you can also see cockpit which is unified together with a front wheel well. And overall molding quality looks really cool. I don't see any possible issues here. If you flip it over, here you can notice some detailing for the front wheel well, or nose wheel well if you prefer. Next we have sprue with fuselage halves and wing parts. So again, quite nice molding quality, and parts division is a bit unusual because we have this fuselage halves divided into separate segments. As you can see, the top half with tail fin is molded separately. Also here we have wing part, which is also molded together with lower section of the fuselage. So basically in these areas you won't have any gaps, and that's really cool, but you will have to care about these other sections on the aircraft. And as you remember, nose cone is molded separately, which is also great. And here you can see the tail part section, which is also molded as a single piece part. External detailing is traditional for such kits. If I zoom into, for example, this top wing half, you can see that we have recessed panel lines and rivets, and if you flip it over, inside you can notice that we have guiding pins, and overall attachment points are quite thin, so it should be easy to separate them and get them ready to be glued together. Okay. Next we have small sprue with various parts. I guess they are specific for PF and PFM versions. So as you can see here, we get various cockpit combing panels, also we get fuselage panels, pilot seat, also some cockpit parts and pylons for the wing. Some of these parts are really tiny and thin, so be careful with them. For example, this part here, you can see comparison with my fingertip. That's a 1/72nd scale kit, and it's quite understandable why some parts are so tiny, let's say. Next we go on with last gray plastic sprue. So this one is dedicated to external equipment, and that's really great that even in weekend edition kit you get almost all armament which was used on this aircraft, at least some popular types. So it means missiles, bombs, external fuel tanks, all these parts are present out of the box. You don't have to spend extra money, and in case you want something more, you can get a Brosin upgrade set which will bring even better detail into your kit. But even these original plastic parts, you can see that they look great, and if you don't want to spend extra money, this is really great addition. And I'm glad to see that Eduard actually continues this without introduction of any extra products, let's say, which will require some extra money. And you can see with your own eyes that they are quite cool. Obviously you won't use all of them in one project, so they might stay for your future 1/72nd scale projects, and that's really cool because your kit collection or spare parts collection will get such a nice addition. Next we have this plastic bag with decals. I'm going to open it right now and we will take a look closer. So surprisingly we get two decal sheets, and the biggest one is dedicated to stencils. Here you can see it. Let's close the camera a bit, we zoom in, and now you should be able to see it. So all stencils are printed in Eduard. There is some segmentation, so it should be relatively easy to get the right symbols for your marking option, and I really recommend to apply all of these tiny writings because they will change the whole appearance of your model, and it will pay off to spend some time applying one by one. Yes, it will be a bit tedious, but who said that modeling does not require some extra time? Here we get also another decal sheet with main symbols for two marking options. We also have some interior cockpit stickers or decals, and that's really cool because you don't have to resort for PE parts if you don't want to. You get them, I would say, more or less simple representation out of the box. But if you would like to get something more sophisticated, there is a separate zoom set. As you can see, it comes with cockpit parts. We will review it in separate video which will be published today as well. And as for decals, I was saying it before, I will repeat it again. So Eduard uses new technology for this, so they are even thinner, but they're somewhat, I would say, tricky for some modelers, so be careful, do not hurry, and you'll be fine. Some modelers were complaining that they're a bit difficult to apply, but actually it just requires some due care when you separating the decal of the decal sheet. Next we have assembly manual. It is typical for Eduard. It's a color printed brochure. We have short history note on the first page. Next we go on with parts map and paints chart. The assembly process starts with cockpit. Next we continue with engine nozzle. So engine is not copied, but whole nozzle is carefully copied even out of the box, and that's really cool. Again, you can replace it with Brosin upgrade, but if you are fine with this interpretation, it should be completely okay on out of the box build. Then all this stuff gets into fuselage halves, and here you assemble lower wing half. And next it is quite interesting that you close wing parts with the top halves, and then you join all this stuff together with fuselage, not in the wrong direction. We also have all wing mechanization molded separately, so you might even play with flaps, maybe copy them in retracted position. Next we go on with nose, landing gear leg and landing gear doors. Here you can see that you can assemble air brake in deployed or closed position. We also assemble landing gear, wheels and legs for the main part here. Next we go on with rocket boosters, and frankly speaking these are optional parts, so if you don't want to use them on your aircraft, feel free to jump over to the next stage. Here we continue with pilot seat, which gets inserted into the cockpit, so you get fuselage already assembled and then you insert the pilot seat and then you install this nose cone. Next here we have canopy parts installation, so again I remind you that you can assemble it in both closed or open position. Here we have assembly manual for armament and of course loading schemes, and that's the first Moroccan option, which comes from Czechoslovakia. It's first half of 1969, second half of 1970s, and here we have another aircraft. It's of course Vietnamese and it comes from 1979. Of course we have stencils application guide. As you can see, it requires several pages, so as I said, pay attention to this, apply all these decals and you'll be good to go. As for the kit, it is really cool alternative to Profipack if you don't want to spend extra money, and of course I will be happy to hear your opinion about such release. Write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for watching and bye!